Hi friends, in this tutorial I will try to explain you the core concept of machine learning in a very simple layman terms. Also we will see that how you can build a classifier from scratch. So I'll be using the Python language. So learning in layman terms, if you take an example of raising a child, right? So we suppose we give a child some task and he does that task, and then we give him some feedback based on our feedback and his experiences. The child improves, right? So learning in lay terms is simply improving automatically with experience. So the best example for this is like how you can see how a child he raises gets improved over the time with his experiences and the feedback given by the guardians. So in the process what is happening is we are making useful changes in our mind. So first let us understand that why do we need machine learning. That is this what is the need that machine learning has become so important, right? So with exponential rising data, that is you have the internet, the business data, the social media data, so data is everywhere, right? So now with lot of data which is being generated every seconds, so to make some or get some information from that data or get some insights from that data, that is where this machine learning comes into picture. So machine learning is needed for tasks that are too complex for humans to code directly, right? So now our traditional way of is that if you have a problem, we solve that problem by writing a computer program and creating a software, right? But rather than going the conventional way, here in machine learning things are done without explicitly being programmed. So let us take an example of like you must have heard about this self-driving cars, right? Now imagine what it takes to write a software for a self-driving car. You will try to write the software for every use cases of a car, that is pressing the accelerator, stopping, when to apply brakes, and so on and so forth. But things get too much complex. Like for the self-driving car, say we as a humans, when we drive a car, we know that when do we need to apply a brake, when do we need to slow down, and we need to we can distinguish things, say a paper lying on the road, so there is no need that you need to apply brakes. But if there is someone crossing the road, so our brain understands and suddenly we slow down our vehicle or apply brakes, right? So now how do we make this software categorize that, okay, there is some piece of paper lying on the road, so it is an, even though it is an object, but you don't need to slow down or apply brakes, right? So this case becomes very difficult and complicated to program explicitly, and that is where the whole core of machine learning comes in, that we don't need to program things explicitly. So let us understand what is machine learning in machine learning. So everyone might be knowing this equation, y equal to f of x. So take an input x, supply it to function y, and you will get the output. Take an input x, supply it to function f, and you will get an output y. But what x's to use and what f to use for your y to get known or to derive y, right? So what x's we need to use and what f to use to derive your output y is not known. So now if f is known, then the problem is solved. Like if you know what function to use, then the problem is solved. Example is effect of force on acceleration. So when your f is known, you can derive the outcome or response y. But when f is not known, then things become more complicated, right? So let us take an example that if you want to identify the movie preferences for some case study, so first before you want to know the movie preferences of any individual, you first have to know that what decides a movie preference. So if we take movie preference as our output or the response, we map it as a function of different x's. So your x can be age, your parents' occupation, your music preferences, and so on. And then we use this different x's, supply to the function f to get the output y, that is the movie preference, right? And we learn it by doing a lot of repetitive iteration and trial and error. So this process of approximating f by another function g is all about machine learning, right? So we don't know f, but what we do is we approximate this f by another function, which is the complete process of machine learning.